my number on the chat. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to UNI-LIFE Masterclass, University of Life Masterclass. And tonight we're going to be doing Blueprint for a Decade, Part 2. Last week we were able to deal with Part 1. And in this Part 2, what we're going to be looking at is becoming and winning. Make it happen. Becoming and winning. Make it happen. I started in my conversation by showing us the formula and the principles for getting into result-oriented life. And I did say earlier that it is very important we live on the principle of documentation, which is writing. In School of the Essence, we have always promote journaling, where you are encouraged to write as much as you should, right? However, success does not end with writing. Getting those dreams does not end with writing. Stepping into the results, the manifestation, does not end with writing. Writing is only but one of the equation. So there are two of that equation that we need to understand. Number one is the place of documentation, which is writing. And number two is the place of action. And in action, you also have two equations. Number one is confession. Confession is part of action in the principles of result orientedness. Confession is necessary because you confess, you profess to actually become or attract. But confession alone is not enough. Then the second in that equation, the action equation, the second is application. All right, so we have confession and we have application. If you apply and you confess, you're going to get the results. So that equation states that for you to step into a more result-oriented life, it's so required of you to do well to document. Write as much as. This is where planning comes in. We are going to be seeing it tonight. That is where planning comes in. Write as much as you should. Document as much as you should. Get into the business of painting pictures of futures. Get into the business of writing the things that you want to step into. I will show us how it works. And then after writing, don't stop there. You confess, you speak. Most of you are shy of talking in reality. Is why those realities will never come. But apart from speaking, you also take action. You apply. Apply what you should apply that will bring forth the things you have documented and the things you have professed. That is very important in that equation. So tonight, I want to show us, I won't be able to do a review because of time. We have a lot to do tonight, okay? So I wish that last week class was on record. It has been worked on. We had some net, but I just hope something can be done. And if that, you can go to the YouTube channel and then see for yourself last week conversation. Okay, now this is where I want to pick from our last week. We established 3 philosophies that everyone needs to uphold in designing your 10-year plan. There are 3 philosophies that we showed, and we say that whether you like it or not, you must choose one of these philosophies and stick by it. Now, we saw the philosophy of fatalists, where it shows clearly the concept of whatever we be, we be. Many people don't get into planning because they believe that whatever we be, we be. So you hear some young people say, well, I don't know what you're saying. I just know that whatever we be, we be. Tomorrow, it's going to get better. In the pidgin tune, tomorrow, it go better. It's my turn. When it's my turn, I will shine. And you begin to hear all manner of faith talk, not faith, not faith, faith talk, right? So it is very important you understand that this is a philosophy, but this philosophy cannot get you into the place that we are going. In if you hold this mindset in the year 2034, you are still going to be limited, you are still going to be disadvantaged, and you are still not going to have so much result as you wish to have. All right. So while we say all of this, it is important you know that the fatalist mindset cannot travel with you in achieving your 10-year plan. Number two is the humanist philosophy. Now, the humanist philosophy is a concept of I can be whatever I want to be. So you hear people say anything I want to be, I can become it, right? And on the strength of this philosophy, they want to become great, they want to become exceptional. Apart from the fact that the humanist philosophy or the humanist concept does not sustain the ground to help you into becoming what you want to be, because life is lived in its fullness from a corporate sense and not an individual sense. So when you are speaking as an individual or an authority who believe that you have all it takes to become what you need, what you want to be, you will only get to realize that that life is a sham. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Everybody who is going to become anything must be assisted, right? So going by that concept, I can be whatever I want to be, is only stating a fact that you are a humanist, and the humanist philosophy cannot take you to a certain height in life. And the third philosophy is the Biblicist philosophy. Now, the Biblicist philosophy is a philosophy that shows that I choose what God wants for my life, and I am ready to partner with Him to play my own part to in fulfilling that which He wants from my life. Now, that is a life of surrender, knowing fully well that we don't own ourselves. There is a supreme authority that have ownership over us, and every product is defined by the manufacturer, not the product. So your manufacturer defines the product. The pen got its definition from the manufacturer. The house got its definition from the manufacturer. We all can be houses, but of different capacity. So you hear a duplex, you hear a bungalow, you hear a terrace, you hear different kinds of houses. Those houses were defined by the manufacturer. The same way your life is being defined or should be defined by your manufacturer. So if you are going to become that and you are going to be working with the blueprint that will be showing tonight, it is important you know that you must choose what your manufacturer has designed for you. And that is the Biblicist philosophy. And it is on the strength of that philosophy that we're going to be using the plan that we will be unveiling tonight. So you're welcome. I just needed to pick this from last week class so that we can run today. All right. So the right attitude towards planning for the next 10 years. Please listen to me and listen very, very carefully. Working on your mindset is more primary than working on a paper. Working on your mindset is more primary than working on a paper. Tonight, I'm going to be giving us a blueprint, a paper that you are going to be working on. But if you work on that document without working on your mindset, you are still going to be limited. So you are the person that makes things happen. You are the person that makes things happen. So working on your mind is much more important than the paper. The paper cannot work itself. The paper cannot produce the result by itself. the paper cannot bring forth the desired result by itself. The paper does not have the capacity to deliver the result that has been written on it. It is the individual who will now get to work, right, in delivering the blueprint. The paper is only but a blueprint. It holds the blueprint. It is your responsibility to get to work. So working on your mindset is more important than working on a paper. And that is why tonight I will also be adjusting a mindset. What I did last week was to show us philosophy, and successfully that worked because I got a lot of DMs as touching those philosophies, right? And today we are going to be doing mindset shifts. And at the end, I will give us the document so we can begin to work. When we gather next week, then I will show us. By then, you should have worked on this. I will show you how to sustain the result. All right. So let's see how far we can go. Now, this is it. If you have been following us in School of the Essence, you know we use a lot of references. We use books. One of our major book we use here is Good to Great by Professor Jim Collins. That is one of our major material we use in School of the Essence, Good to Great, right? And because there are quite a number of life principles there that we have been coiling most of our concepts from. Also, for us, the Bible is like one of those materials. We don't see the Bible as a religious. Okay, I'm saying that because you need to understand the concept of we using the Bible, and don't look at the Bible as like something they are using to preach. For us, the Bible is a reference book, and that reference book has wisdom for life results. So if you see, there is a guy called Paul. Paul is one strong guy who has been able to live his life on design. And everybody on this call, your life must play on design. The reason why we're highlighting this man because we have seen him on both sides when he was before he became part of a certain group. He acted and manifested in a certain way. When he also joined a certain group, he acted and manifested in a certain way. Now, the combination of that, after doing a careful analysis of this man, we just got to realize that it was who he was, not because he was here or there. Now, why am I saying this? Your life is who you are, regardless of where you belong, whether or not you're a Christian and all of that. Your life is much more. So you must look at your life and begin to build and ask yourself, who am I? Don't define your life from a religious point of view. Don't define your life from an education point of view. Don't define your life from a social point of view. Define your life from your life point of view. Who are you? That is, by the way. So there is an approach called Paul's perspective to life that will help us. Now, if you see this constitution in First Corinthians section 19, section 9, subsection 19 to 22, you see that I'm not calling it like your pastor, right? Now, in section 19, subsection 9, I mean subsection 19, you will see what he states. He states that though I am free, but I am free from all, yet a servant, I made myself a servant to all, so that I, that is Paul now, might win as many as possible. Now, look at the red letters there. He was free. So this guy is free. What does it mean to be free? Because you are going to be working on your life plan, and you are going to be working on those plans as someone who is either free or someone who is in bondage, or someone who is, in captive, or someone who is limited, or someone who is deprived of some stuffs and all of that. So look at what he said. He said, I am free from all, yet I made myself a servant. How can somebody make himself a servant, and why? That I get to my next slide. How can somebody make himself a servant? Somebody who is free is making himself a slave. Why? Okay. Why was this approach necessary, and why did we highlight it? So look at the grand mindset. in setting a 10-year um plan. It's called the Paul mindset. So he said, who I am free, right? So by design, the guy is a free guy. And who I am addresses what life has given you naturally. So naturally, Paul was free. And when he was saying he was free, he was speaking from two areas. Number one, from the Roman area, that is his nationality. As a Roman, you are a free guy, right? You are not like it, because at that point the Roman guys were the world power, right? It's just like saying that you're an American citizen. You are free to travel to all of these countries that some African citizen can't travel to. Okay, just for instance, I'm giving you an instance. So he is, by natural design, he is free, right? And then he was also speaking as a Jew. Jewish guys are free. Those guys are fearless. They believe that they own the world because of the prophecies and all of that that God has given them. So you see, even till today, when they fight any nation, they fight those nations as guys who are free, free to do anything, free to conquer, free to win, and all of that. Now, how does it concern you and I in building our 10-year plan? Most of us, we don't know who we are. And in case you don't know who you are, you might not be able to work on those plans correctly, right? So if you are thinking that you are still captive, if you are thinking that you are still limited, if you are thinking that you are still small, if you are thinking that it's not possible for you to be great, it means that you don't have some things naturally. And why for some people there are some things we have naturally. For instance, our background. We came from a well-to-do background. We have support systems. We have there by natural design. There are some advantages we have, right? So we are free. Do you understand me? But then having those natural advantage, those gifts given to you naturally, you are not crippled, you are not blind, you are not a disabled human. You are, you have these things that life has given to you to your advantage. What does it mean? It means that you are free. But then even the guy, as a free guy, look at what he said in the next area here. He said, what I have made myself. So if you read that thing going down, you will see that he has put an effort to make himself a slave. And to stress that, you need to understand that what I have made myself addresses the effort I put or I have put in becoming something else. So even though I am this, I should not end my life in this. I must put effort to make sure that I become something that is greater than this. For some of you who are maybe broke, maybe poor, disadvantaged in one area or the other, you don't build your 10 years plan from that perspective of your disadvantage. No, you look at those disadvantage and it become a motivation for you to look at your life and say, I might be this, but I have to put effort and make myself this. Do you understand? So no matter what you have now or what you don't have, it is not a reason why you shouldn't put down goals, put down plan that is realistic, plan that is in line with creator design for your life. Let me give you an example. You can see somebody who was born by a prostitute, for instance, out of wedlock, and she grew up or he grew up knowing that he he's he let me use a female, that's her mother is a prostitute, for instance, right? And she sees her mother prostitute, and she grew up into becoming a teenager knowing that her own mother is prostitute. That mindset alone can limit the life of that young person. I have seen a lot of them. I have a lot of them within my um, mentorship system. People who believe that because of this quality of life they had growing up, they are disadvantaged. Do you understand? So I want to help us to correct this mindset. No matter what you have, some people are pronobles. They give birth to them with silver spoons. They have advantage. Do you understand? And there are people like that. But I am also speaking to you. Whether or not you have a silver spoon, listen to me. Who you are is not a reason why you can't make yourself, you can't put effort into making yourself something that the world can reckon with. I need you to understand that, because what we are working on is a 10-year plan. And in putting a structure for 10 years, you can't predict your next 5 years. But you can actually predict your next 5 years. How? By putting effort to make a version that you want to make. So Paul understand that he was free. In his case, it was an advantage. He was a free guy, a Roman citizen, a Jewish citizen, one man, free guy. So he can do anything. As a matter of fact, even when he was persecuting a certain sect, the Christian sect, at that point, he could go to anywhere, collect letters, travel and go and execute. That was how free he was. Do you understand? But then he understood that this freedom, I can still keep it aside and use my life for something that is very profound. Now, let me show you something in this slide. The brand mindset also, what I have made myself. When he was saying that I have made myself, one of the things he made himself, which I want every one of us to make ourselves, is servants. And when he was talking about making himself a servant, what does it mean? It means to be enslaved, to be restricted, and to be under bondage. Not if you need to understand, I know we have a lot of people here who are faith people, like, I am not a slave, I'm not enslaved, I'm free, and all of that. You need to understand this concept so that by the time you sit down to work on your 10-year plan, you must understand the attitude you give. By the time you are living your life beginning from tomorrow to actualize this plan, you must understand the attitude that you give, right? So not people, most people, he was saying that he made himself, not that people made him, not that life made him a slave, not that the society made him a slave, not that situations, circumstances made him a slave. He said that he made himself a slave. He said that he restricted himself in some things. We're going to see that. He said that he put himself under bondage. He said that he enslaved himself. Why? So that he may win, so that he may win. So maybe I will just try and go back a bit so that so we can see this. He said, though I am free from all, yet I made myself a servant to all. I am free from all, but I made myself a servant to all, so that I might win. So the reason why you are going to be making yourself a slave is so that in the next 10 years, you might win. I will show us how. Don't be in a haste to conclude. Is so that in the next 10 years, you might win. There is an attitude that you will travel into your 10 years with, you will not win. Actually, I speak this as one who have studied, and I understood these principles for sure. Now, what is the lesson? I must choose whose slave I become. This will take me to my next slide. I must choose whose slave to become, whether we like it or not. Everyone on this call, you're a slave to something. And whatever you're a slave to, we eventually give you the baton to become a master tomorrow, a master in it tomorrow. Yes. If you're a slave to football, tomorrow, football will give you a baton to become a master in it. Whatever you're a slave to, tomorrow, it gives you a baton to become a master in it. So let me see if I can show us this next slide. I just hope that we understand this now. When he was saying that I have made myself a servant, what he meant is that I have enslaved myself. He's saying I restricted myself. He's saying I put myself under bondage. And he was not saying that it was people that made him a servant, because most of us, the biggest issue is that we have allowed people to make us servants. We have allowed society to make us servants. We have allowed situations of life to make us servants. We have allowed some of these things to make us servants, and it's the reason why we can't get there, because the things that the things that we are slaves to are the things that we allowed to enslave us. Okay, so Paul was saying that Whatever it is I am a slave to, it is me that made myself. So if you are writing, you are going to write this question: what am I going to make my, what am I going to be enslaved to? You need to understand, because whatever you are enslaved to today gives you the baton to be his master tomorrow. Yes, yes. Anything that you are enslaved to today gives you authority to become its master tomorrow. So when you see people slave to video games today, tomorrow, video games give them the baton to become the master. The only thing is, when you now translate that life, does video game add value to that destiny tomorrow? If no, it is a wasted effort. People who are slave to movie today, by the time they mature into their future, and then they just discover that this thing that I am now a master at has no contribution to my future, at that point it becomes a wasted life. People who are enslaved to food, sleep, and some of those stuffs today, by the time they translate into the next future, in the next 10 years and all of that, they just get to realize that this thing I am now a master at does not have any effect in my future. It becomes a problem. So you must mind the things that you are enslaved to, because whether you like it or not, they are forming your next 10 years, and it's going to reflect in your next 10 years, whether you put it on paper today or not. That is why the mindset will help us constructively work on our documents when it is time to work on them. All right. So let me show you us something. So Paul adopted a mindset of a slave as number one. Even if he's most educated person, he was willing to learn as if he knew nothing. That is how to be a slave. Even if you are the most educated, when it's time to learn, you are learning as if you know nothing. Even if you're a rich person, when it's time to spend, you spend as if you have nothing. Even if you're a top corporate leader or a top corporate worker, when it's time to work, you work as if you're a laborer. This is the slavery mindset, that you give yourself positive value and you do it to the best. See, if you write everything you are going to be writing on paper and you lack this mindset, I'm sorry, those things you wrote on paper will not come to pass. It is why I am passing us through this route deliberately tonight. Deliberately tonight. Everything you are going to be writing on your paper, by the time the blueprint is sent to you, everything you are going to be writing, if you don't have this mindset, you will not become it. You will just write things you are going to be admiring and never manifest. So whatever you are going to be putting down on those paper, you have to be slave to it, otherwise it won't come to pass. I can't imagine that I want to build a life in the next 10 years that is highly solution driven in respect to education. And today, I am not giving my life as a slave to education material. I will never get there. So sometimes when you look at intentional people, you see their schedule, you just know that, this one is heading somewhere. And it is the things you are enslaved to that is giving you that credence and that rising, that tomorrow you now become a master in it. You know, I've shared on this call over and over and over and over and over. It doesn't matter how busy I am in life, I must read a bit every day of my life, and I must write every day of my life. So if I've not been doing this, I've not set this as a goal for over 10 years now, you won't have me speak like this, the way I'm speaking. I won't have that strength to communicate within this capacity. So you hear me speak, and then you be like, oh wow, you are not reading this like line by line from anywhere. So how are you doing this? It's because I was enslaved to reading many years ago, over 10 years ago. I am only using this as an example and not to show. So you must make sure that whatever you are putting on your papers, each and every one of them, you are willing to be slave to the demands. Very important. If you are not slave to the demand, there is a section for what to do. If you are not slave to what to do, the things you have desired and you have designed, you will never get into it. So can we float a bit? So I must choose my own slavery, and I have enslaved myself. I need somebody to put this on the chat. Everyone, please type this. I have choose my own slavery. Just that line. I must choose my own slavery. Can you put that down? I must choose my own slavery. I want to see that on the chat. I must choose my own slavery. Let me be sure we are following. I must choose my own slavery. Beautiful. I must choose my own slavery. Kim Castro. Kingsley, I must choose my own slavery. Martins, I must choose my own slavery. Moses, I must choose my own slavery. Augusta, I must choose my own slavery. Kosi, I must choose my own slavery. Beautiful. Benedict, I must choose my own slavery. Clara, I must choose my own slavery. Guys, we must choose our slavery. It's part of what we are going to be doing. So this is the focus. This is the focus. Number one, the kind of person who wins is the kind of person you choose to become. Right? The kind of person who wins is the kind of person you choose to become. Winning is tied to becoming. It is whom you are becoming that determines what you win. If you are not becoming a warrior, you can't win certain battles. If you are not becoming a certain kind of a person, you can't win certain battles. So this is the focus, self-actualization, to become the person God wants me to be. That is number one focus. So I am not actualizing, I'm not driving my 10-year plan because of what superstition in my head or something. No, I'm driving my 10-year plan on the strength of becoming what God wants me to become, because I am a Biblicist. I am not a humanist. I am not a fatalist. I am a Biblicist. Do you understand? That is why we have to pass through that route before we get to before we got to this place today. And number two, to do the things God wants me to do. See, when you are putting your 10-year plan together, please, I like you to try as much as possible not to don't try to get stuffs that are not in sync with what your future holds. You are not going to be doing yourself so well, because you could be it must not be something big and extraordinary. No, it could be something small, but that it is God who commissioned you to do it. Some of you, is as part of your 10 years, is that you are going to pay attention to children, and it doesn't look children. What will children offer me and all of that? But hey, if you have sensed that to be your part, please put it down and find out the price to pay to get into it. But some of you, in School of the Essence, you are going to really pay attention to the unschooled. Yes, we have a section for unschooled people who are not privileged to go to school. You understand? And that part of your responsibility is to teach them how to speak, how to write, how to do one or two. If you sense that is your line, put it down. Even though it's not in School of the Essence, but you sense that there is something that is insignificant but is attached to your life, put it down. Put it down. There is so much honor in everything that God wants us to be. So you must understand that who you are becoming is what determines if you will win or not. So which philosophy have I upheld? Discipline. What I do and keep doing. My repeated thought must be, I must become, so I must win in this or that. I must become. It is who you become that determines what you win. Please, I beg you, put emphasis on becoming. I see people without so much effort in becoming, and yet you expect to win certain to get certain results in life. It's not possible. Whatever result you're going to be getting in life is at the mercy of who you are becoming. So if you can put in some energy into becoming, you will be so shocked at what you are going to, emerge into. So you see that mindset, let it keep ringing in your mind. I must become this so that I will win. I must win this. Whatever you want to win, who do you need to become to win that which you need to win? It is not just in winning, it is a person that wins. If you have not become a marathon runner, if you end at becoming a 100-meter runner, you can't win marathon. So instead of trying to win marathon, become a marathon runner. Do you understand? If you are not built to carry 50 kg, not carry 50 kg. Instead of struggling to carry 50 kg, drop a 50 kg. Build yourself to be able to carry 50 kg and come back to, you see that you will carry the 50 kg effortlessly. So that we don't design that our 10-year plan as if it is the paper that will make it happen. No, you must pay attention to the version of you that must become that which you want to win. Otherwise, you are still going to be disadvantaged. So you see stuffs like, I look at the action. I keep running. I keep fighting. That's the action. I don't stop running because I am tired. Can you think this with me for a minute? Imagine your heart says, I am tired of breathing. I want to go for a holiday. Your heart says, let me travel to Dubai. I'm tired. Let me go for a holiday in Dubai. Let me go and rest. Do you know what will happen to you? You will just die. So sometimes we want to rest. Sometimes we want to relax. And you are in the race of life. And you understand that in this race of life, you must keep at it. That is what we call routine and ritual. You must keep at it. You must keep at it because your organs have been working since they gave birth to you. And none of your organs have decided to go on break. None of your organs have decided to go on holiday. Yet, you that is being empowered by that organ, you are resting. You are chilling. You are, let me rest. I didn't come to this life to stress. I didn't kill anybody. Allow me to enjoy myself. The danger with that mindset is that there are heights in life you will not get to. I need to remind us that there are 8 billion people on the earth. 8 billion. There are about 6 active continents on the earth. Each of these continents have countries. Each of these countries have your age mates. And you only have a season. If that season comes, all of you within that age category, it is your season. No? It is your season. But those ones who have given themselves to the principle of, I will keep running, I will keep fighting, I won't quit. It is those guys who will become excellent in that which they are designed for. So imagine the 8 billion people on the earth across the 6 active continents in the different countries that make this continent. And then imagine how many are you within your set, your age bracket, and imagine your season. I don't quit. That's the mindset. The running and the fighting routine. The running and the fighting routine. So what I do and keep doing is something you must also put down in your 10-year plan. You will get the document. You will see a space for that. What I do and keep doing. There are things that no matter how the day has gone, I will not stop doing. Why? Because these things are part of my future. In fact, they are what I call, and the concept of future has been misunderstood. Because I hope you know there is nothing called tomorrow. Because today is the tomorrow of yesterday. So the more we say tomorrow will come, tomorrow never comes. Do you understand? So that concept of future is also a concept that we need to redefine. Because most of us, you are living in your head that there is one future somewhere. There is no future anywhere. It is what you do with your today that defines who you become as the day comes by. It is very important you understand that no magic will happen in the future. Nothing called future. That thing you call future is only the arrival of a day, and nothing will change. So stay at it. It is very important. We'll stay on this slide. Let's try to press on. All right. So if we are going to make it happen, it is not enough to write it, but to make it happen. Okay. So there is this principle we saw in the first class. Suppose one of you want to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and you are not able to finish the building, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, will laugh at you, saying, "This man began to build and wasn't able to finish." So you must avoid this embarrassment by all means. If you are putting your 10-year plan, you must avoid this embarrassment. And how do you avoid the embarrassment? You must make it happen. Make it to happen. Make it to happen. Don't just write it down and start, and tomorrow you chicken out. You lose the strength and the energy, and that's why I told you don't quit. If you have seen that this is the path, you must take the action. Keep running, keep fighting, and you must keep it at the back of your mind that I must become this so that I must win this and that. All right. So when we are dealing with this, to make it happen, what are the principles we need to know if we must make it happen? There are three principles. Number one, plan for the future. Plan for the future. Have a long-term view of life. Long-term view of life. So many people sees life from a short-term perspective. Next week, next month, one semester. Let me talk to students, those of you in school. The moment you get to school and you start a new section, in fact, the moment you get admission, see your entire program from admission, from matriculation to convocation. From matriculation to convocation. Plan like that. Then break matriculation to convocation season into sections. Then break those sections into semester. Break those semester into year. Into weeks. Break those weeks into days. You will excel. Don't just get to school and say, okay, and you are seeing semester. No. If you want to make first class, that's for example, that one of your passion is to make first class, and then you came to school. The first thing to do is to envision your 100 level, because there's something they call CGPA, right? There's something they call CGPA. CGPA is you can't talk about targeting a very good grade without understanding the concept of CGPA, right? CGPA is the cost per gross addition, right? So when we are doing CGPA in education, you cannot but the factor in the strength of your entire result, entire GPA in school. And your CGPA comprises your cumulative grade points average, comprises of your 100 level to your final year. It is the overall academic performance across multiple semesters. Cumulative grade, trying to remember now, points average. Yeah, cumulative grade points average. That's your CGPA. But your GP is the one you get at your semester. So the cumulative is what gives you first class, second class, and third class. Do you understand? I'm giving an instance. So you must look at your life from a broad perspective. So I was telling somebody about this class tonight, and the person said, it's 10 years, not too much. You see that? Planning for 10 years, is it not too much? Why should I plan for 10 years? This thing is too much. 10 years. So I will sit down now and be planning for 10 years. What if I die? And I told the person that, what if you don't die? In fact, if you don't plan, you are already saying that you are not ready for that 10 years. And something might happen. You might not even live the 10 years. Whether we like it or not, 2035 will come. 2035. See, whether we like it or not, it will come. But do you know what? What 2035 comes to meet us with determines what we are going to be doing on those paper by the time you download the blueprint. When 2035 comes, yes, it will come. It will come. It's almost here. Do you know? Let me give us a gist. 2015. 2015. I was thinking, so there is 2020, 2025. 10 years. God. And that was when it dawned on me, Oga, start planning for your next 10 years. And I was glad. But just imagine that somebody is saying that 2025, somebody is still in the illusion. Why should I plan for 2035? Do you know that there is something called political calendars? For many countries, they already know their presidents. See, let me give you a gist. This is on record. Oh. Okay, guys, when you're editing, remove this part. The current Catholic Pope, the current Catholic Pope was prepared for this. Most people, you see, there is something about religion that most of you don't understand. Religion has a synergy with politics, right? How many of you saw that picture of Donald Trump before the selection of the new Pope, where he was dressed like a Pope? How many of you saw that? Good. If you saw that picture, you didn't know that that was a statement. You thought it was just he was just catching cruise. No, he wasn't catching cruise. He has an understanding of what's playing out among the pontiff. He knows what is playing out, who the next pope is. So these things are, if you look at that guy, do you know how many languages that guy speaks? That guy speaks Spanish, he speaks German, he speaks English, he speaks um Latin, that guy speaks over 6 languages, or five, 6 languages thereabout. Do you think that he was just learning those languages coincidentally? No, no. He was being built. He was building for these days. Because for you to be a pope is not just by black smoke and white going up. There is a standard requirement. You should be able to relate with the world. Do you know that guy exercise schedule? He's close to 70, or if not 70 plus now, and yet he can still stand, relate, and all of that. Do you know his exercise schedule? You don't want to know. Go and check it up. Do you know that guy's reading habit? The moment he became, even there is no world leader that has not gone to see him, because even Nigeria, there was a time he came to Nigeria when he was still a cardinal. He came to Nigeria to do an assignment. Every nation, notable nation of the earth, that guy has traveled to. And today is a pope, and you think that it's just white smoke that went up. Sorry. So you must plan for the future. That's my point. Have a long-term view of your life. If you know you are going to be doing things across the nations of the earth, start learning languages. Start learning languages. Let me leave your plan. It's you that know what to plan in your future. So let me leave you. I'm just calling your attention into something. Number 2, how do you make it happen? Work it out one day at a time. What does that mean? Plan, live, and grow day by day. So if you're going to be doing your document, see, I have mine, okay? I have mine, right? This is mine. And this is my 10-year document, right? And see, it's lived daily. It's why I really don't have time. So when you say, I don't have time, the reason why I don't have time is because there is a 10-year plan that my life is running after. It's why there is no time. It's not somebody forming busy. Is that there is an agenda. This is how to live, guys. Don't worry. After tonight, you are there already. That is why we are in class. So I'm not doing this to try to make you feel a certain way. No, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to really, really get into your heart and make you see that Obi is no longer a boy. Ada is no longer a girl. You are growing old. You are growing old. So we must make up. Live your life one day at a time. Live it daily. Number three, how do you make it happen? You have dwelled here for some time now. How do you make it happen? Number three, fill in the gaps. There are space in between where you are now and where you want to get to. So you must fill in that gap. You are somewhere now, and there is where you are aiming at tomorrow. You must fill in the gap between where you are and where you want to get to. It is very important. The space between where you are now, it is very important you fill it in. And how do you fill it in? You fill in by growth. All right, so the blueprint review 2025 to 2035. Who is ready for the review? I'm excited. Who is ready for the review? All right. So we're going to be doing the review shortly. And after the review, we are going to be talking about downloading various individual copies, and we are going to be working on that copy. So my assignment now is just to show us how the plan works, just to introduce us to it, and then we'll make every one of you have to download yours and then start working on the plan. Let me see. Let me try to share that screen. Now, I did not want to get into doing anything extra. Is why I worked with the one I have been using, but was improved. And thanks to, oh, beautiful. Yes, thanks to ICGC. Now, this was previously updated 2024, May 2024, exactly 1 year today. So, but in your copies, you're going to address it as 2025 to 2035. Okay. And I will just help us run through this. Now, I did say something the other time. Thanks to again, let me acknowledge ICGC, dear Chancellor of Central University, Ghana, and then the Senior Pastor of ICGC. Thank you very much, Sir. I don't know if I should even call him Sir or Professor or Doctor and all of that. Mensa Otibel. Thank you so much. I'm sure, guys, we've worked with his book. There was a book, one of his books we've worked with, By the Future. He authored that book. So he was able to guide, to provide this plan. If you go over the internet, there are quite a number of plans, but his own works very well, falls in line with what we are training on. So instead of reinventing the wheel, I just decided that we use this to flow. Thank you very much, ICGC and Pastor Mensah Otubel, for making this available to us. Thank you. We truly appreciate, sir. Thank you. All right, so let's get into work. Now, the first thing you're going to do when you download your document, get it printed, is that you're going to write your name in full, your full name. And then there is a preamble. You have to read this preamble. I'm not going to read it for you. So you read the preamble in First Chronicle 28, 11 to 12. The reason is because you're a Biblicist. So you're going to read that. Luke 14, 28. I taught from that. Okay, you're going to read that. And then now, the next thing that is very huge and significant in the plan is, what plans have you drawn for the life you envisioned yourself? Now, you're going to read this too. You're going to read this too. The following guide is blah 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 blah. All of that are preamble, very necessary preamble. You're going to take out your time to read it. Okay, so the second page, excuse me, of that document is, this is where I am today. Now, in developing plans, you must understand that you have to start from where you are to where you want to be. Okay, it is very important. Don't start from where you want to be. Just say, okay, this is the plan. No, start from where you are. Identify where you are, track where you are, track your current level, and all of that. Make sure that you have an understanding of where you are. Okay, so my current age, you're going to write your age. Now, this document, you are not supposed to submit it. So you have to be truthful to yourself. Those of you who have football age, if they ask you how old are you, you will import age and tell people. Don't lie to yourself. This to yourself. Please don't use football age. Hmm? Don't use football age. Do well to use your real age and all of that. Okay. So this is where I am in 2025. So you correct that to 2025. Okay. My current age. Write it down. Now, number one is my family life, because you're going to be planning for your family life. For some of you, by 10 years' time, your status should have changed. So, but from where you are now, if you are single, you tick. If you are divorced, tick. If you are married, tick. If you are a widow, tick. Tick. If you are married, tick. If you are single, tick. Divorce and widow, I'm not sure they're in this class, but just in case they are, or they'll be listening to the training later, please tick. The number of children. If you have now, you tick. Okay. If you don't have now, leave it, because you're also going to be planning for it. So just we are still at page 2. So you're going to do that when you get your document. Now, your spiritual life. Now you're going to be very truthful in answering those questions. Am I fully assured of my salvation? If you are, tick. How well do I know the Bible? Tick any of them. Um, Not much, a little bit, well enough, quite well. Am I living a consistent Christian life? Tick. Now, the reason is because you are also going to be planning for your spiritual life in 10 years. Okay. So it is very important that you are very honest. Reason is because your spiritual life is as important as every other thing. So you have number one, family life, number two, spiritual life. Now, number three is your skill stroke competence. Your skill stroke competence. And that is where you now, what is my highest level of training? You're going to tick, because in the next 10 years, you must have grown to the highest that is needed for your destiny. You know, some of us, the reason why we don't grow is simply because there is no plan. Honestly speaking, not opportunity, plan. It is plan that attracts the opportunity. It is plan that attracts the opportunity. Yes. Some resources came to your hand, and because there was no plan, the resources went into something else that you can't account for. Yes, it's because there is no plan. If there was already an existing plan on ground, guess what? You will invest in it. You will definitely invest in it. So, your skill and competence. What is my highest level of training? You work on it. What are my areas of expertise? What I know I can do best. You work on it, because you're also planning. You have to grow. You're also planning for it. Then number four is my career, right? Let me try to navigate. Number four is my career. What I have done in the past, what I am doing now, and what is my career path. You answer those three things genuinely. If you don't have any, write none, because you are also going to be planning for your career. Then number five is my relationships. Who is in my innermost circle? Please write it. The people in your innermost circle, because some of us, our innermost circle must have to change. In 10 years' time, of course, they will definitely change. The quality of people in your innermost circle, you answer it. Who helps me to be the best? Right. Because you are going to be asking who should. Do you understand? Because some of the people that helps you to be the best are people that are like you. Ah, Is why you are still like this. Who brings the worst out of me? Right, right, right. Because you are also going to be identifying people that you should delete from your life. Many years ago, let me give you a gist. Many years ago, I had one friend who we always want to chat with me. Is a she. We always want to chat with me in the night when she has done everything and she wants to just catch cruise. Not in a bad way, because some of you are not thinking something else. Not in a bad way, but that time, because I'm a night person, that time is a time. Jaffa, stop laughing. That time is a time where I usually use for to develop myself, and you want us to chat. You see that now? It brings the worst in me. It brings the worst in me. So you must understand that some of us is even script movie time you should use, because that particular time of the night your brain is hyperactive. That is when you should engage your mind in getting reasonable information, doing research, reading. But you are using it to chat, you're using it to all of that. So people in that category are bringing the worst in you. And if you are like that for others, you are responsible in bringing the worst in them. Well, I'm not training on that. I'm just trying to say. So we'll get into our next page. My time. Who do I spend my time with? Right. If it's movie, write it. If it's game, write it. If it's chat, write it. If it's television, write it. If it is somebody, write it. What do I spend my time on? Yeah. And where do I spend my time? Write it. Because the biggest, the greatest capital every one of us have is time. Time is our greatest capital. So when we plan for the next 10 years, we're going to be seeing how to utilize our time. Number 7, my finances. How much do I earn now? Write it. Don't be ashamed. If you are not earning anything, overwrite it too, because you have to plan for your finances. If you don't plan for it, nothing will happen. If you don't plan for how much you should be earning between now and in the next 10 years, nothing will happen. In the next 10 years, you still appear broke. Hey, God forbid. Not any of you. Hey, if that happens, I have failed. You can't be in school of the SS and in the next 10 years, you're appearing broke. I have failed. Honestly speaking, you will not understand, because part of my job is to see that that part of your life excel. All right. So my savings and investment, write it. If you don't have savings, right? If you don't have a savings, write it. If you don't have investment, don't be shy, write it. Because you're also going to be planning how to save. You're also going to be planning on how to invest. It's part of it. School will never teach you these things. Welcome to University of Life. All right. Okay. So my debts and liability, write it. If you're in debt, write it. Write it. I owe $2,000. Let it show. There I owe 50,000 naira. There is show. Then liabilities, write it. Write your liabilities too. Right. Check the total and total it there. Then my infrastructural asset, undeveloped land. You have an undeveloped land, right? Some of you, you are up to age. You have lands. You are up to age, but you don't even know that you have land in the village. Something is wrong with you. You are not even asking question. Do I have a land in the village? Do we have a land in the village? Where is it? You are not serious. So undeveloped land, you have not bought. Which one is your inheritance? Find out. Write it. Developed land with buildings. If you have uncompleted buildings somewhere that has been entrusted to you, write it. Right? It's your future you are planning. Write it. Income yielding properties. That is the things that are making money for you. If you have bikes, if you have keke, write it. Hmm? And then if you don't have, when you get to infrastructural assets development, infrastructural assets, you're also going to start planning for it, because you need things that will bring money while you are sleeping, but they will not come automatically until you plan for it. Welcome. We're planning our 10 years, okay? You get your own documents, don't worry. So number 9 is my health and well-being. Most of us, we have not prioritized our health. And thank God for GPR. GPR will force you to do a daily exercise because your health needs to be in priority. Okay. So you look at your health history, medical checkup. When was the last time you did checkup? Only when you are sick. In fact, you are not even doing checkup. Those of you that don't do checkup, write it. Not at all. Let you show there. So that when you look at it 10 years ago, I don't used to do checkup. Now, 10 years after, very regular with checkup. Checkup does not mean that you are sick. It only means that you are serious with your health. You are intentional with your health. Right? So you also look at that. Recreational activities. Some of you don't go out. You don't take yourself out. Write it. Recreational activities, none. So that you start planning it. Do you understand? We are doing this together. Don't be ashamed when you are writing it. Don't be ashamed. Yeah? You are planning your 10 years. All right, number 10 is my impact and legacy. My impact and legacy. How well am I known outside my family? Not at all. If it's not at all, right? Not at all. Some of us, we are not known beyond our siblings and our parents. Write it. A little bit, write it. Quite well, write it. Very well, write it. Hmm? The next question, am I making a difference with my life? If none, please write it. Be sincere because you are planning. In the next 10 years, don't there is a chat, there's a page of the document where you now sit down to plan for all of these questionnaires you are answering. Am I making impact? If you are making a little bit, write it. If you are making quite well, write it. Last night I was teaching my team on um on leadership, how to be influential leaders, not just leaders that are irresistible. You know, so you need to understand how what makes you irresistible and all of that. It is in the planning phase that you now start planning for that kind of a life. But for now, you are answering a questionnaire. Am I making a difference with my life? If not at all, right? Not at all. If very well, right? Very well. What am I doing with my to make my world a better place, right? If none for now, write it because after in between now and 10 years, your life should be notable about a project that is making the world a better place. Okay, so you're still going to be planning for all these things, but for now, just make sure you answer the questions truthfully. Okay, so let's get to our next page. Now, this is where I want to be in 2035. Remember to make that correction in your document in 2035. Now, my expected age in 2035, we are going to write your expected age. Between add 10 years to the age to your years now. That is your expected age in 2025. Write it. Having determined where we are, let's turn our attention to where we would like to be. In the next 10 years of your life must be progressively better with every passing year. The following picture formed from your answers to the questions that follow will be the motivation you hold before your eyes. So let it inspire you to strive and then bring you to dream into that reality. Now, the big picture. You must write your big picture. What's your big picture? Your life in summary. That part of you that is the number one. For some of you is to be a professor, to be a doctor, maybe education doctor, to be a lead, a project lead, a multinational, to be um, an importer as a businessman or an exporter. So just a big picture. What's your big picture in your life, in your career, in the things that matters most to you? One big picture, put it there. There to put it there. 2035, put it there. Put it there. Then number two, the person I want to become. It talks about your personality now, how people perceive you, how people receive you, how people relate with you, and all of that. Put it there. Okay. And then number three talks about, excuse me, Number three talks about the big things I want to achieve. So that is where you now begin to highlight the big things that you want to achieve for number three. Now, examples of yearly goals, right? There are quite some number of examples there that can guide you in all of that. So let's get to the next page. We are supposed to be dealing with question right now. So let's get to the next page. Next page, my commitment. Now, this is where you now begin to put what you need to do. Remember, if your plans does not have action, it is not complete. Because I did told us that documentation is not sufficient in the equation of result orientedness. When you are building a life of result, documentation is not enough. You need documentation, and then you need action. And in the action equation, we talked about confession and application, right? So um, this is it, your commitment for family life. What you begin to ask, this is what I want for my family life. This is what I want for my family life. You write it. A family comprises of father, then in bracket, if you are a man, me, mother, my wife, and four loving kids. Describe their gender. And then if there are other things too you want to put there, you put there. That is, if you know that in the next 10 years you are giving birth to four, the number you are giving birth to, or the kind of family, even if you are not going to be getting ready in the next 10 years, but the kind of family you want, it could be your father's house now, right? Because I'm not sure it's all of you that are ready to get married in the next 10 years. But if you are here in this class and you're not thinking of it, something we need to talk. Okay. All right, that's by the way. That's by the way. So that's family. Then this is what I need to do. So for you to achieve that thing you have put up there, that plan you put up there, put the commitment. Now that is applicable to every other part. I want to explain them one by one. It is applicable to every other part for spiritual life, for relational life, for skill and competence, for career, for relationships, for time, for finances. Finances, you're going to write, this is how my finances should be. Regular income, you write it. How much should be coming to your hands on a regular? Savings and investment, write it. How much are you going to be saving? Debt and liabilities, write it. You are planning. Please kindly mute your mics.
You don't already put in your WPS in the and you that for you to share a screen, anything you are doing, even if you share a screen on Google Meet, I don't that's an idea. It's going to be true.
Please kindly mute your
but
mic.
by then you open it to work on your WPS or your app or anything you use. So when you share your screen, you
I
can
have
start
to
talking
remove
about
you. I'm sorry. I hope I removed the right person. Okay, yeah, I did. Sorry, I couldn't mic mute her, so I have to remove her. All right. So you get to the next, your physical assets. You have to also work on your physical assets, health and wellness. This is the health and well-being I desire. My medical status, sick free, eating and exercise pattern, structure it, um, well-being, structure it. Now, this is what I will do. Exercise, dietary, and all of that. Impact and legacy. You put it down. Then this is it. My first step. These are the things I commit to doing immediately. This is very important now. My first step. The things you commit in doing immediately. You have to put it down. Otherwise, if you don't start, you can't get to the finish line. So you must know the things you are committed to be doing, and then you must start doing it. Do you understand? So the things that get you started, put it down. If you come to my own, is GPR, and then a few other things that are there. Hmm? All right. So every one of us, it's to depending on what kickstarts your life and all of that. Then my circle of accountability. Accountability is very key. It is beneficial to be part of a group like committed people on the 10-year journey who will, yeah, and all of that. So I will be accountable to Dash in my family life. I will be accountable to Dash in my spiritual life. I'll be accountable to Dash in my. So if you can break your accountability system into all of this and let somebody be in charge of them. You might not put them in a WhatsApp group, but you must make sure that you give account to these people. They must know that they are your accountability partner and that you must give accounts to them on a regular basis. If nobody is holding you accountable, you might not do your best to deliver results in this. So this is actually how it works. I don't know if you have questions. That's the end, though. All right, that's the end. So when you get into the plan, when you get your copies, you can begin to work effectively. I want to ask those of us who are actually on School of the Essence platform, you are going to be getting the link there. That is where the link will be posted. School of the Essence community. And if you are not in School of the Essence community, please, you can raise up your hand so that um, the admin can send the link. Or Mr. Benjamin, if you're on the call, can you drop the link? Okay, he's not in the call at the moment. And if you're in the call, can you drop the link so that we can they can just get into the community, and the link for to download this will be dropped. The hand is raised. Um, Mr. Kingsley, please can you unmute and ask your question if you are still there?
I'm not in the platform, and I would like to get the link.
Okay, beautiful. So any of the admin that is active, please, School of the Essence community, WhatsApp community link, can we kindly drop that on the platform, on this group chat, sorry, on the chat box of this call? Kindly drop that so that everyone can find their way into that place, and then we can drop the link for download tonight. So you get your copy, possibly get it printed so you can work on it. Thank you. Yeah. Do we have question for tonight? Do you have question for tonight? If you have question, you can do a raise of hand for. Okay, yes, Mr. Kingsley, please can you unmute and ask?
Okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. This is my
Good evening.
first. Yes, this is my the first time joining this. So before we started, I saw that this. I noticed that this is a part two, which means before now there was a part one, and I wasn't part of it. So I would like to know, like, in the part one, like, can I get a very brief summary of what happened in the part one, sir? What was talked about?
Okay. All right. I will. I let me see if we have the time. Gladly, I would really love to do that. I wanted to find out the if it has been uploaded so that we can do all of that. Meanwhile, this to say a very big thank you, so I can end the recording and get into answering questions. This to say a very big thank you to everyone who participated in this. Please, the link for this download is going to be attached somewhere around the video after it has been uploaded. So thank you very much. Let's get into Q&A section right away.